Hello, so today is May 14th, 2021, and I'm going to be doing a reading on the haunted location of the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City. So I'm just going to see what I get with the cards, and I'm just tuning in to the beautiful Skirvin Hotel. It's a luxury hotel in Oklahoma City. And I will include a link to the place, to the hotel, and to its wiki link or whatever, so that you can read further about this place. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on allowing the creator spirit to guide with what it picks up through the cards about the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City. Okay. Let's see. The card of sight, foresight, and endurance through difficulty. I think that this speaks to the fact that there were many people that took kind of refuge staying there while they were waiting out, I think, circumstances in their life to open up, to be more opportune for them, and where they would be in a place of strength to deal with something. So I think that hotel, there were people that would, go there to kind of recuperate or to get away from difficult circumstances. There's also the feeling that this was run by someone with a great deal of ability to see ahead, but a very controlling personality. Manipulative. Delay. Frustration. I just feel that this was really, I'm getting the sense that more of the guess here of laying over. I feel that there were definite people that stayed in that hotel longer than they wanted to. There's a deep sense of frustration. And I'm getting people staying there. I'll have to look and see, like, if there was something about where there were famous guests or something where people would have a lengthy stay over. It shows the frustration that somebody's wanting to get out there and do something, get out there, but they can't quite yet. They have to bring something under control and use clarity. I really do feel that if there were, this may have been a place that certain people were booked in when they were needing to clean up their act. Because that's what I definitely am getting here, bringing something into a more mature control. And transformation, yeah, this is dealing with changing, transforming your life in some way. And I feel that there's an issue. There was definitely an issue of being able to, you were only, I feel like for some people working there too, there was frustration, because I think there was a definite controlling person that made them feel stuck, not free to go. And I'm fully aware of the story about the owner of the hotel having supposedly gotten a worker there pregnant, and they call her Effie. I don't know about any of that, but there is some issue here with being controlled and needing to get out and live on your own terms. And there's the masculine figure, the husband, the father figure. I think the owner of the hotel. There was some kind of, I get the delay card around him. There was a frustration, I think, to do with his hotel. He was hiding things. And definitely, I think, in connection to, I feel like, yeah, I think there's something to that story, motherhood. And if you notice down here, there's a key. I think she was, in one essence, free to go, but really, she wasn't terribly free. I think she needed to find the inner strength herself to transform and be willing to walk away from this man, who I think he was very controlling of her. Of a female. Do get joy, though, too, with this place transformed. There's the death card. And I feel like somebody certainly felt like the only escape they had may have been through, and how eerie that we get this card that has this kind of a feminine image, and it's talking about death, and there's a feminine kind of yet image here and here. So I do feel like there was some story like that rings a bit true here. I do see a female that I think her feeling of being free was through death, that this man was just in her life controlling her. And it does look like through the element of being pregnant, or in some kind of way. That's typically what I get with this card and all this energy. And I think she was happy to be released from his control. He may have kept her, there. I think there is something true to that. Inner vision. I think this guy that owned this hotel was very good at reading people, and being able to, I believe, get a sense of what likely will happen if I do this, or strategic thinking, and also just more thoughtful. He didn't just act, I think, from the hip. There was there's a lot of thought here involved. So then, wisdom. Inward vision. There's a sense of, and maybe also for this man that I think owned the hotel, he needed to get, I feel, like in control of some elements here of himself, of the shadow side of his nature. Well, this wisdom is really heavy here with the inner vision card. There's a feeling really strongly of someone I feel like having inner vision, knowing. Maybe this owner did to some degree of the hotel, and he tried to deny it. That's quite possible. But I definitely see an issue of control that comes up here, and somebody feeling a great deal of happiness and sense of release finally through, it looks like, some radical change. And that could be death, that could be something really incredible happening, and he realizes perhaps that this is wrong what he was doing, and he lets her go. That could also be it. But it could equally be could it also be equally that there's the child and there's a joyful thing, and there's then the sorrowful thing of perhaps if she did give birth, a loss in childbirth, but the happy aspect of a child, and it looks like a female. I get like a daughter, but I'm pretty, okay, so this is answering that, yes, there was definitely something to do with the story about him impregnating and he was a father. Okay. I do think he took care of this child, but I think the mother may have passed through after childbirth. There's, and I do think he was really controlling. Maybe not, I don't know. We could be talking about holding somebody where they're locked in a room, locked, I'm surprised I wouldn't get other cards, though, of where there is like real, a stronger card of being, held. Nonetheless, it's control, it's there, and I definitely believe that there is yet very strong energy of the owner, and definitely the connection to him fathering someone. And I think the woman bearing that child may have passed, and he may have controlled her really, really strongly. It may have been a very controlling man. I definitely get that. With an uncanny awareness. Speaking truth. Yes, I feel that we're being. I think this is Effie. If you the one that the entity that they call Effie speaking, she struggled to stand up to him, to transform into. I feel like confident enough to stand up to him, and I think she endured a lot of poor treatment, to say the least. And I kind of tend to think she may have even looked a bit like this. That's right in the pelvic area. There's something here I'm getting with after giving birth. There may have been, it's just really making my whole pelvic region feel inflamed. She may have had sepsis or some kind of infection, which is not uncommon. Unfortunately, sometimes when women give birth, because I definitely feel like there was something she may have contracted during giving birth. Something here was, and the birth itself may have been very difficult, like hemorrhaging. Very quickly. I think she passed her journey, she's saying, ended very quickly. I do believe we are speaking, or if you will, communicating with the entity that is identified as Effie. And because she's identifying, I believe, giving birth, and that this man was the father of her child, he controlled her, and I think up to the point of giving birth, and I think she was pretty miserable, but happy about her daughter. I think there was great love there, I see that, but I feel like there was something, though, that went wrong, and I feel like she probably hemorrhaged. There's just that feeling within giving birth, she may have hemorrhaged, lost too much blood. This can happen. Go on into cardiac arrest, this sort of thing. And I just feel that it ended her life, it ended her journey. She had to walk away from her body. She was not able to continue it. And it happened quickly. And it doesn't take long. It does not take long to bleed out. I believe there may have been initial hope that she rallied. Maybe there's resilience and there's time, but they may have hoped that with time she would rally, flow, teacher. I think that's more that time was being their teacher. They were just going to see how she did. I think she had went through difficult birth, to say the least. I think that this young lady hoped that he would marry her. I think this was a bit of a fantasy. I don't think that she realized that was not likely to happen. I really do feel like she was still young and pretty imaginative and naive, and hoping that she would end up being his missus. definitely get a sense of this with her, and being young and thinking in that way. Not a little more settled, you know. And clarity came, sun and night. Well, that says it all. So I think that at the end she realized, only too late, that it was not going to be how she wanted or hoped. Great deal of judgment, I think she felt, upon herself. And definitely in their relationship shows as karmic. The choices he made, she made, etc. And didn't make. But there's healing now. And I feel that she's saying that she's moved on. There's closure for her. But I think it's taken a lot of work. And I think she had to, she showed that the speak power to truth, or speak truth to power. I think that was her way of saying I should have, that she was too young, too afraid of conflict, too afraid to ruffle feathers, and I just don't think that she was very realistic in what she was expecting from what he was willing to give her. Hold on a minute, the cat went out. Hang on. Okay. But she is healing now, and I think the people that were involved in that community, that event, that scenario now, I think this is her way of indicating that have they come to peace with each other, it looks like, on the other side. And the motherhood issue there with her. I feel that there's some sense of full circle with regard to that, and her giving birth. Yeah. I think all she ever really wanted was to have a happy home. I'm getting from her, she wanted to be married, and she wanted to have a home and a family. But I think that she felt like that was not, of course, didn't exactly happen for her in her life. And so I feel like on the other side, she's developed that with her child. That's interesting. And she, there's the feeling, not just the feeling, there's being stuck, being tricked. I think he just played mental rings around this young lady that he was fooling around with and took advantage of. I do believe there is truth to this story about this, I think, the owner of this hotel. Because look, there's a child, it keeps coming up. And she was pregnant. And I feel like she had a rough birth. I do. And I think that there was a part of her that had to go through, process what she endured. Because I do think that she was held there. And she wasn't exactly free to go. But I don't think that she could have walked out, but I think if she really wanted to, but I also feel like she's like, well, where would I have gone to? I think, in the state that she was in. So, I just don't think that he wanted her being seen, So he kept her locked, up, and but I don't think it was good for her at all. I think this is his way of trying to hide. I would suppose impregnating somebody other than his wife. And I see that she had hoped that he would marry her. That came up earlier. So here we go again with the child, and about forgiving. Maybe she's, because of the healing, we're shown that they've moved on past this and healed this now. On the other side, nurture, yeah, and through, I think, spiritual guidance, she's healed of what she experienced in that life. I think she wants us to understand that, and not just her, but him too, and other people in connection to that community at that time. That she's letting us know at least that she didn't remain stuck, and I think even he himself has not. It looks to me like she's trying to show us that they've moved on, and as his spiritual community, if you will, of people that had once lived in that location. That's interesting. Yeah, look at that. So it's kind of like this karma is full circle. It is, yeah, been met. And we're talking about the change that you need to make to reclaim your power. Not let people, this is a common theme, not let people, not just give them all the authority in your life and think that they know better and that they're going to do you always well. Very much there's often, they take advantage, and often in thinking that they're doing the right thing and making excuses, whatever, but you should be the one that's calling the shots in your life. Even if you need help, that's fine to need help, but don't allow other people complete control, because I don't think it's healthy. I think it leads to being controlled and just unhealthy relationships. Yeah. And I think she's agreeing. Compassion. And I think she's also, it's a way of saying that she's also, I think, very grateful for the compassion that is shown to her, I think, through people that are aware of her story and through her hardship that she endured there while she was there. I think that greatly. Yes. Through time, the persistent love that people have been, and I think empathy that people have shown toward her, she can feel. Well, she's speaking about, this has made her kind of famous in a way that she didn't intend. And not only her, but they would have never thought, the people that were in that community and part of that story and part of the scene would have never thought that in history that they would be become more well known as the characters to more people. I just don't think they ever thought that this would come out. Their story would become so popular. But through the force of this man's personality, the man that owned the Skirvin Hotel, I feel that it's there. But I feel like he liked to control too much, this man. Yeah. And so again, she's talking about freedom through, my God, freedom, the only freedom that she could have away from this guy, I feel like, was either death or trying to make a run for it. And I think she feels like he would not let her leave. That her travel was restricted. And I don't think that she got the best quality of care that she should have had. I think he was a bit dismissive, like she's fine, whatever. I don't know if she was chained up. I think she may have been locked in a room or kept to the, perhaps I just don't want to believe that. I know that that can happen. But it doesn't matter. This poor woman didn't feel like she was free and didn't feel like she had an alternative either to go to. And I think she was really young. Yeah, again, just being somebody, being domineering and just draining to deal with. They are so controlling, so in your business. Father of her child. And I feel like he just watched her. I think he was a bit kooky, I think he had some problems. I think this is like spying on her type stuff. That kind of controlling. Listening to someone's phone conversations, watching them, having peepholes and things like that. That's what I get. Like, this guy was so insecure of controlling this young woman. And I think she felt like she had release through death and was very happy to be away from him, but not happy to leave her child in this circumstance. I don't know whether or not we know. The feeling here is that the child, I think, survived and was raised. But I don't think that she made it through. I could have that wrong. Maybe they both succumbed, but there's definitely a strong feeling of the mother. Yeah. She may have given birth there too and passed. Because I think that in order to kind of keep control of his pregnant mistress, he kept her from out of sight. I think tried to keep her out of sight. But I'm feeling like she went into labor and struggled to give birth there. I think she should have been in some other place. I have a feeling she gave birth in that place. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but regardless of wherever she gave birth, should have been a better place, because I'm feeling like she didn't have the kind of care she needed, and I think she could have, if she wasn't being hidden, Yeah, again, she wishes, my God, that she had spoke out and let him know, been more forceful. I think she was very submissive and believed that he would marry her. So that is what I'm getting. That's crazy. Because you know what? I thought, I don't know if that story's all 100%, especially when... But I know that there's some of it was, but you just never know what is, so you don't know what you're going to get. Whoa! So if you enjoyed the content, this is video number 4 in the series on the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma. Let me know by making sure that you're subscribed and hitting that like button. And please share. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.